It's Maria's Mutts and Stuff
What a great idea!
on iHeartRadio.
Welcome to Maria's Mutts and Stuff. And with me today, I'm so thrilled to be talking to Gorman Bouchard, who is the director of Seniors, a Dogumentary. So I just have to tell you, and I know I emailed you this after I saw it. Your movie made me laugh. It made me cry. And then it made me laugh again. It was just because we love dogs. So
Right.
It's just so heartwarming.
The thing was, after my last film, A Dog Named Gucci, which was about a horrible case of abuse, I had so many people saying, I can't watch this film because I really want to, but I can't.
Right.
And so I remember saying to my wife, who always co-produces the animal films with me, that I'm going to make a happy animal documentary.
Okay.
And she was just like, why you can't call it that? I said, no. I'm going to tell everyone it's the happy animal. Because it's like, there really is. You never see a dog in a cage.
No.
It is just a celebration of senior dogs.
Correct. And that's the reason why you made the movie, because you wanted you want people to be aware, because people aren't aware of how, what can I say? Everybody always wants a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants a puppy. But when you get a senior dog, you have a dog that is comfortable in its own skin. It's already trained. It's almost like a young, like it's an adult. It's not a baby anymore.
It's got a personality. I mean, I would trade. I mean, my dog. I'm with my dog Springsteen. We're in the movie.
Yes.
And I wouldn't trade that dog for any dogs, any 10 puppies in the world.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, he can be a little grumpy, but then so can I.
So can I. Exactly. That's right. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, I have friends who only adopt senior dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that it's a wonderful thing to do. And for the people who say, well, it's depressing because the dog's not going to be with you for a long time. But for me, and I'm sure this is why you made the movie, is you have to look at it that you're giving an animal like a wonderful last few years, however long it's going to be.
Right.
So it's a good thing. It's not, you know.
And I think one of the things that I find is usually these dogs that'll be in horrible shape when they are first dropped off or whatever, because they're so depressed.
Sure.
You give them a few months in a happy home, all of a sudden this dog has a new lease on life. And I think he's living a lot longer than you even expected.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I mean, I know cases of that. You're right. Where if the dog was still in a shelter, unfortunately, living in the cave, it probably would not last, a year, even less.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. You know, I think dogs want what we want. They want someone just to love them and to take care of them and, and to be there. I mean, nothing makes Springsteen happier than, my wife goes to bed at night, and if I don't sit on the couch with him and watch some stupid TV show for an hour, he just will sit there and bark. And until I have to come back downstairs anyway. So
of course, because he wants some daddy love, of course. Well, let's talk about Springsteen. Let's talk, because in the movie you talk about why you named him Springsteen and the funny thing about his being named Springsteen. So for those of my listeners who haven't seen the movie yet, let's talk about Springsteen.
Well, it's funny because my wife and I were both obviously rock and roll fans. Our other dog is named Dylan.
Dylan, right.
And we just knew we were going to name our next dog Springsteen. Had no idea what the dog was going to be. It was like, we thought that's just a great name for a dog. So we get this mixed breed from Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And I think his original name was Woodruff, if I remember correctly. And so anyway, it's almost a year goes by, and we learn his birthday is September 23rd. And on September 23rd, I just post something random on Facebook, happy birthday, Springsteen. And then I see all these people posting happy birthday, Springsteen. I'm thinking, why are all these people wishing my, 1-year-old dog happy birthday? Then I realize it's also the other Springsteen's birthday, the more famous one.
Right.
And that is a complete coincidence, which is
that's
just
amazing.
Kind of weird. Yeah.
Almost like it was meant to be.
Absolutely.
For his name to be Springsteen.
Absolutely.
Exactly. But
Dylan was not born on Dylan's birthday.
I was just going to ask you that.
No.
All right. Well, that's cool. And how is Springsteen doing?
Springsteen is doing really well. I mean, he's up there. He will be turning 12, this month. And, he's definitely, he has more medication that I can keep track of most of the time, but most of it is for like his hips and things like that, So, I mean, he's a 12-year-old lab. I think he's a lab golden mix.
Okay.
Which is pretty much like the happiest kind of dog you could ever.
Oh my God, of course. Yeah. Always happy to see you. Always a great disposition. Yeah.
But like I did say, and my vet has since seen the film, so he understands that it's now on film and he can't let me down. He did tell me Springsteen was going to live forever. So
that's perfect. Good.
Yeah.
So we're good. That's good. That's the golden rule, and that's right. That's
Yep.
right. And he will. He will, because I mean, he's a star in your movie. Yeah. So what made you this? Is it because did Springsteen come from? No, because you got him when he was young.
Yeah.
How did you find the old friends Sanctuary, who are featured in the movie?
Well, it actually started. The first filming that we did was with Chaser.
Right.
And it was right after I had filmed Gucci, and I knew I wanted to do something next. And I started reading about Chaser, and I contacted Dr. Pilley, and I sent him a copy of Gucci, and he invited me down. And I was really one of the last interviews that he'd ever done, because he actually had a heart operation like a month later.
Wow.
And he never really got 100% back.
Right.
But I thought, okay, this is a great story, but it's not an entire film. But
Right.
Chaser is so elderly. Let's see if I could do something on other dogs. And my wife found Old Friends, and I said, oh my God, this is like a retirement home for dogs. This is like the greatest place in the world. And I reached out to him, and I just happened the timing was perfect. They were about to move to the new location, so they said, come on down. And I went down there a bunch of times. Sort of fell in love with Nashville at the same time, which is
oh my God, of course.
city.
Well, you're a music person, so of course you love music. Yeah.
Great city. And then we would find other stories like Izzy, the dog, which was also just happened to be in Tennessee.
Right.
And then Jane, who sort of became the glue that connected all the stories together.
And she's a photographer.
She's a photographer, did an amazing book called Unconditional.
Right.
And her photos are just
they can bring tears to your eyes, or they can make you just crack up, because it just her photos are just so touching.
They're great. I mean, my Facebook photo where you don't even see my face is that shot of my arms around Springsteen's head that she took, which is just the most perfect picture, you know.
Right. So now, were you friends? Are you friends with Jane from before, or you met her because of the movie?
Met everyone through the movie.
Wow, that's amazing. See how dogs unite people, and that's right there is a fact.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, and so the fact that you hooked up, and Michael and Zena, who have the Old Friends Dog Sanctuary in Tennessee. So as we see in the movie, you actually have the whole progression of them, of needing a place to go, finding a new place. Like that timing is impeccable. What was the time frame of all that? Shooting?
I mean, we started with the first time we shot was in January, and I probably shot back and forth with them for about a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the place, I mean, from seeing it in your movie, it looks like it's ginormous.
Well, it's actually, I think it looks bigger in the film. I mean, it's big, but it's not as it's small enough that they have raised money to move to a place 5 times or so its size.
Right.
So they are going to move again.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, supposedly and I said I got to film this if you do it. They're going to do a parade where they march all of the dogs down to the new place when it's ready.
Wow. Oh my God, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like probably now, what would you say? They house maybe 100 dogs?
They're like 110 seems to be the average.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with this bigger place, they'll be able to do even more.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, you're right. It's like a retirement home for dogs. It's so perfect. Yeah. And you can feel like you just know who they are. You know, they just have this heart that's filled with love for dogs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, when you think about, I mean, because I've been there, it's like, and this is, just what taking care of one elderly dog is. If you have an elderly dog that's sick, that can be difficult.
Of course.
I mean, this is, it's monumentous, but I mean, they do such an amazing job, and they pour their hearts into it. I mean, I give them so much credit.
No, me too. Because it's a tough, I mean, for anyone, even take care of one senior dog, it's tough to do that. It's a hard job. It's like an elderly relative,
right?
Which really frustrates me when you hear about people who dump their dogs because they're old. People like that should be banned. They should not be allowed to.
I agree with you.
Right?
Think about it. I mean, if you dumped your kid at 10 because you know what, I really liked him better when he was 2.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like he's starting to annoy me now, and you dump him, you'd be arrested.
Right? Yeah. Right. And you wouldn't do it to your relative. I mean, look.
I would have done it to some of my relatives.
Well, yeah, I guess.
That's a whole other story.
But the ones you're at. Your grandma's getting old. Let's just put her out on the curb. Yeah. No. No, but it's true. But I really do believe people like that should be banned from adopting.
I agree.
And you always hear it goes viral. Oh, and you'll see this this beautiful older dog, and it's sad, and because the owners came in and they took a puppy. Like what?
Yeah, I don't understand.
I don't understand that either. I don't either.
It's like I don't think you should be allowed to do that. You know,
I agree. That's right. There should be, just like people get on like lists of being banned for things, you should be on a pet adoption banned list.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I think so. So we talked about Chaser, and for those listeners who don't know, Chaser was a border collie, and he was featured on 60 Minutes with Dr. John Pilley, and the dog knew over 1,000 words and objects, and so you had this experience with Chaser.
Yes.
I mean, did you tell us about that?
Well,
I mean, it must be incredible to watch a dog like that, because I know watching him on 60 Minutes, I was like, what? And watching him in your movie.
I've been making films for 30 some odd years. Chaser is the single most intimidating creature I have ever met or interviewed. Over any person, anything.
Okay.
Chaser, I mean, I am not joking when I said there was a part in the movie where Dr. Pilley said Chaser can imitate anything that he would do. Okay. And when I went, he said, you tell me something so you know it's coming from your head. I went to tell him what I wanted him to do so that Chaser could imitate it. And I literally covered my mouth and whispered into his ears, because in my head, Chaser could hear me, understand me, and probably read my lips.
Right. And he's recording you in his brain. Yeah. Right.
And you know, that's how intimidating that dog was.
Wow. And he did exactly what you told Dr. Pilley to do.
And there was a bunch of examples of that every single time. Right. Wow. You know, first time.
It's fascinating to me. I mean, I know border collies are smart dogs anyway, but I mean, is it just the way his genetics were that he was so smart?
I think more than anything, it really showed how smart dogs can be in general. Right. And you know, I think that majority of dogs have some kind of capability to learn that way. You just have to take the time.
Well, that's true. It's the patience of the owner. Mm-hmm. It's like when people have dogs that are just not bad, but they're just wild because the owner doesn't have the patience.
Right. Or it's just like training kids.
No, it's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. When people have babies and they have dogs first, it's like, oh, just do how you trained your dog. Just do that with your kids. Yeah. That usually is what works out. But yeah, it was sad, but I know this is going to sound not silly, but that they kind of passed away within the same amount of time, like within the year.
Right.
I don't know why that makes me feel better. That Chaser was, wasn't without Dr. Pilley for for years.
Right. Yeah. No, and I think timing is everything. So I'm really glad I was able to get them in the film on camera.
God, yeah. And I mean, and that shot of the two of them at the end.
When I shot.
Oh my God.
I literally, because I remember Jane was taking pictures, and I said, Jane, wait a second. And I'm filming them walking away, and I remember calling my wife afterwards and sending her a video I literally just sent her a video of the video and on my phone, and she was crying. I mean,
she was crying, of course.
It's like there's the end of the film.
Right, but it's so perfect. It's just so perfect. So, did you shoot more footage that you didn't use?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of extras on the DVD.
Oh, okay.
DVD was out September 29th.
29th, correct.
Yeah. If anyone still buys DVDs, which I know I do, but
I do.
Yeah, there's a lot of extras on there.
Oh, excellent. Okay, but not enough to make a part 2.
No,
it's on the DVD as a special gift.
Yep. And there's also the opening night of the film, our world premiere was in Nashville at the Bell Court, and it was March 5th. It was like literally the next week.
Wow.
The world shut down, it seemed.
Right.
But we had Michael and Zena. Pilley was there, which is John Pilley's daughter.
Uh-huh.
And also Jane was there. So we had
nice. You had the whole gang was there. Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, right before the world shut down. Yeah, pretty crazy.
Yes.
So, okay, what's in your mind for your next project, or is it too soon to think about that?
I don't know yet what the next animal project is, because right now we can't really travel.
It's hard,
and I don't really know when I'm going to feel comfortable to travel with a small crew.
Of course.
So right now there has been there's a couple of ideas we've talked about, but they're all like out of state, and other ones back in Tennessee. I think it's just an excuse to get back to Nashville.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And so I don't have anything lined up for as the next animal film. I mean, we're just finishing up a music film. I did a short film that I also just finished filming, but it's local, on a man who has a collection of 42,500 Matchbox cars in his house.
Oh my, 42,000? Okay, first of all, how big is this guy's house?
It's a small house.
No,
every single room. It's 11 small rooms, but it's small. But I'm talking every room from floor to ceiling, against the wall is these little 1.5-inch shelves.
Really?
Everything. Yes. Yeah.
That's so weird, but so fascinating at the same time.
I read about it, and I'm just like, there's a good short film in this. Because,
oh my God, for sure.
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder why. Well, I guess it's everybody has, something, some quirk.
I always find obsession really interesting, and that's obviously there's an obsession there.
Yeah, no, that's a good obsession. No, you're right. Yeah. Right. It's better, matchboxes than something bad. So, right.
And then the other thing we have, on the same day that Seniors comes out, we have my other film. I have 2 films coming out the same day.
Same day.
Love Story is also coming out.
Okay, and let's talk about that. So tell us about that.
Pizza: A Love Story is about one of my obsessions. There are 3 pizza places in New Haven, and I'm a real pizza snob, and I will argue with anyone that they're the only 3 pizza places that matter in the world.
In the whole world?
The whole
really?
world.
The whole world.
Yeah, and Pepe's, if you look online and say best pizza place in the United States, Pepe's is almost always number 1. I mean, and most people have named New Haven the pizza capital of the world.
Okay. That's interesting. I didn't realize that. Okay.
And these, the youngest place is from 1938. So they're also amongst the oldest pizza places in the country.
Sure. Right.
And it's unlike anything else. And I've brought New Yorkers, people from Chicago, people from LA, all over the country to these places. And literally you take a bite and you stop talking and your eyes roll back in your head. It would be my death row meal if I was ever on death row.
Got it. Right. Well, we hope you're never on death row.
Yeah, hopefully not. Or if it would be my final meal, even not on death row. So
that's actually like a really good line to promote the movie.
But the funny thing is, there's an elderly man in the film who said, "I want my last meal to be a Sally's pie." And it was. He died after we filmed him. And his son told me his last meal was a Sally's pie. So we dedicated the movie to him.
Oh, that's really sweet, but so weird at the same time.
Yeah, but it also talks. The film is not just about pizza; it's about the whole Italian immigration to New Haven, which at one point had the largest Italian population in the country.
Sure.
And how really like immigrants made this food possible, and women. It was all pizza is women, immigrant women that basically were looking for a cheap way to feed their family.
That's true.
And it becomes the most popular food in America.
Right. Yeah. And it's nutritious when you think about it, because it has tomatoes and cheese. So you got your dairy and, and the crust. So yeah, no, it is. It's a favorite food. So now I have to make a trip to New Haven to have this.
It's ridiculous.
It'll be worth the trip. Yeah, absolutely. So what have you been doing? During this whole pandemic, since I know that we're all limited of traveling. So creatively for you, how have you been?
Well, we had a lot of films that we had shot, so I was able to get a lot of editing done.
Oh, good. Okay.
Right. And also I run a big film festival that happens every year. And this year it was supposed to be in June. We moved it to August.
Right.
And we have like 123 films playing. Most of it was online, so I had to I had to get everything up online, so there was a lot.
Sure. Well, that's a big project. Yeah. So you did it virtually, so that must have been kind of weird. Different.
It was different. We also did have 16 live screenings, in weird places, but they were fun and very limited. But people came out, and I think they were really happy to have something to do.
Of course. Yeah. And I'm sure they were, they did the social distance and they wore masks and did the right thing.
We literally had someone walking with them with a 6-foot measuring tape. So when they sat down because a few of them were in parks, when they sat down in the park, they had to be 6 feet away from the other person.
All right, that's perfect.
Yeah.
See, if you trust people, we know what to do. Yeah. That's the thing that makes me crazy. I'm in New York City waiting for indoor dining. It's like, trust us, we know what to do.
Yeah, we have indoor dining here on a very limited basis because I'm in Connecticut. I'm just from you.
Right.
but I've only done it once. My wife doesn't want to do it yet, but there's so many, the weather's been so beautiful. So there's been so many.
It's true. So why do you want, I feel the same way. Like, why go indoors? But I just feel bad for people I know, small business owners who are, they're who knows if they're going to survive. It's 5 months.
Well, here in New Haven, usually by now, New Haven is booming because Yale's back in.
Yeah.
Downtown is a ghost town right now.
Yeah. See, that's what makes me sad. And I mean, Manhattan, the thing that gets me, and you as a music lover, the music clubs.
Oh my God.
They were the first to close down. They're going to be the last to open. It's like, it's a crime.
That is what I miss more than anything is going to live shows. Because I've done so many music documentaries.
Sure.
That is what's killing me.
I know. Me too. It is. And I know there's Save Our Stages and all these different groups, and it's just I don't know what's going to happen. I'm trying to be an optimist about it, that this too shall pass.
Yes,
but the reality too is, I wish there was a better plan. Yeah. Yeah, it has to happen.
We had tickets to a bunch of small shows and big shows, and the big shows have all been rescheduled for like next July and August, and I'm even worried. Will they happen next July and August?
I know. Yeah, a lot, even the big major bands, they all postponed this year. They're all next year. And I think, good for them. But then I think, well, is it going to happen? But yeah, it's going to happen. We have to think positive.
Yeah, this morning my wife called me. She said, "Hey, so-and-so's tickets are going on sale for February." And I said, "I can get third row seats right now, but I'm telling you that's not going to happen. It's just February is way too close." And,
no, you're right. And it's the winter, and we don't know with all if the flu's going to happen and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I know. It's like, it's that thing. I read this probably when lockdown first happened, early March. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was like a Psychology Today article, and it was living in the infinite present, because you can't think too far ahead.
Right.
And that's what's kept me sane all these months, is when somebody says, "Oh, well, can you, MC this charity in December?" Infinite present. I can't think that far. Right?
I'll write it down. I'll put it in the calendar, and I'm like, sure, whatever. At this point, nothing's there. But for me, for day to day, you're right. It's like first off, you wake up and it's like, what day is it?
It's like Groundhog Day. Yeah. Like what day is it exactly?
Well, it's, I was talking with someone about this. Think about like 20 years ago, you'd have like Seinfeld is on Thursday night. You knew it was Thursday.
Correct.
Now everyone's watching everything streaming. So we watch the entire series in, the season in 2 days.
In 2 days. Right. Exactly. You're binging.
We have nothing to ground us anymore.
That's really true. That's really interesting. I never thought of it like that, but you're right. You're right.
It's that for me, it was always, because I work at home. So it was every day is always the same anyway.
Right. Of course.
So it always like, Wednesday night is Survivor, Thursday is Seinfeld, whatever. Saturday night was Saturday Night Live.
No, you're right.
Something.
They were like points of reference. Yeah. Even growing up, the TV shows that we watched, because we're probably around the same age as kids, you knew like, hey, Monday night was Rowan and Martin's Laughing,
Right.
So. Well, I really thank you for telling me what?
Rowan and Martin's. I haven't heard that one in a long time. Wow.
You know what's really funny? I don't know where I got that from. The reason why I got it is I was looking up, I was talking to somebody about Peter. We were talking about Peter Lawford. Mm-hmm. And we were trying to remember which he had a lot of wives, but which wife was the blonde one? But anyway, so I looked him up, and I'm reading this out loud, and he married Dan Rowan's daughter.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that. Okay.
I didn't either. And this just happened last night, which is why, because I don't know why that popped in my head, but that's why. And I was like, wait, Dan Rowan? Oh, that's Rowan and Martin's Laughing.
I know. My God. Sammy Jr. on there all the time.
Oh, my God, right? Goldie Hawn.
Goldie
I know. That was a great show.
Yes.
And it was so political.
The crazy skit comedy. It really was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like, I think it was kind of before its time.
Yes.
And I'm sure there were things that were said and done then that you couldn't do today.
Probably, especially in the PC world.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say politically correct world. Yeah, you definitely couldn't. So, all right, but at least you knew the show.
Oh, yeah, very well. Very well. I was just going with my friend the other night of our favorite shows as kids. Mine was Lost in Space and Land of the Giants.
Oh, my God. I remember those shows. Land of the Giants. Wow.
Yeah, that's one that no one ever talks about.
No, I haven't heard about that one forever. Yeah, those are great shows. I don't even think like TV Land or any of those shows. Lost in Space, I think you can find it on something.
but Land of the Giants is
No way.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny. Well, Gorman Bouchard, I'm so happy to talk to you. Seniors, a documentary. It's out on DVD and video on demand on September 29th. Extra scenes on the DVD, extra footage. And well, I would love to talk to you with your next project, whatever it's going to be. But good luck with this. And thank you so much for making it. And we just want people to know that senior dogs rule. Get a senior pet. You know, they're not disposable.
Absolutely. They have a lot of life left in them.
Exactly. And you can benefit from by savoring their life that's still in them and also helping them live a full life. So adopt, don't shop, but a senior dog. Gorman, thank you so very much for talking with me today.
New York's classic rock, Q1043.